Hey everybody, Hunter, Fisher, Trapper, Trader, Guide, Scout, and Interpreter, and Country Cook Steve Hall here in Nashville, Tennessee, along with pretty Miss Sheila behind the camera. Hi, Sheila.
Hi.
Today we're going to make crappie melt sandwiches. And the funnest part about this is me and Sheila went crappie fishing. I might show you a little clip of some nice crappies right here. Look at this tub. Holy mackerel. I am so glad we brought the camera with us. Look at this fish. After I caught two crappies, one right after another, Sheila had to get right up in the front of the boat here. Are you got anything to say about that?
No, I'm going to eat it later.
Are you going to have a nice eat it later? That's absolutely beautiful. Now those are some nice slabs. After you get about 6 or 8 crappies, flay them out. Put them on a pan just like this. Don't season them. Just rub them down with a little bit of olive oil. Put it in the oven for 375 degrees for 25 minutes. And you'll end up with flaked crappie. Now we're going to mix this in with a few other goodies. But first, we're going to cut up some bread. So come on over here. Now you can use any bread you want. I like a rye bread. This is a seeded rye bread from up there at Kroger's. I'm going to open this up and slice it up. I'll be right with you. I got it all sliced up, buttered up, and I'm putting it on my griddle over here to give it a nice little crust. And we shall return when these babies are nice and golden brown. See you in a second. Did these turn out nice or what? Well, that's the end of the recipe. We're going to eat this bread and see you tomorrow. Didn't that look that good? We're going to move this aside and we're going to put our bowl out here and we're going to get to going on our crappie stuff. See you in a second. I actually just threw that bread back on the grill with the grilled side up, so maybe do a little toast on the bottom as well. And when I cut the bread, I just threw the crumbs in here instead of throwing it away. And let's get started. Now I'm using 4 cups of crappie fillets, or 4 cups of flaked crappie here. Oh, that looks so good. You can use 2, you can use 3, you can change the recipe, but I want a little extra for something else I'm going to do at the end. I'm going to put in 1 cup of mayonnaise. So that's 4 to 1, 4 cups of flaked fish. And if you don't have crappie or bluegill or northern pike close to you where you can catch some, you can always use tilapia from the store. It works just as good. Well, not just as good, but it works pretty good. We're going to put in a 1/4 cup of real fine sliced celery, because I'm not a big celery person, but I don't mind it in there as long as it's real fine sliced, and there's only about a 1/4 cup in there. Now in this dish right here, that just magically appeared because I left it in the kitchen over there, is a teaspoon of red wine vinegar and a 1/2 teaspoon of lemon juice. So we're going to pour that in there as well. I'll put in about a 1/2 cup of real fine diced onion. Now this is sweet Vidalia onions. I love sweet onions, but you can also use red onions in this recipe here. But just a 1/2 cup of those, and then about a teaspoon of parsley. About that much right there. Now you can use fresh parsley. I gotta admit, that's right out of that little handy dandy jar over there. And I'm going to mix this together a little bit. Kind of get that incorporated. And then I'm going to hit her with some salt first. I kind of like to put it in my hand so I can see how much I'm actually putting out there. And then the pepper I can see. And you know me and pepper. I'm going a little bit much. You don't have to go that much, but I just love pepper in everything. When I get it all stirred up, if I can't see pepper in the product, there ain't enough in there. So, all right, this is getting close. This is just another great use of your bluegill, your crappie. I know I love fried fish, don't get me wrong, but I can't wait to get this out of the oven. All right, let's just move these over here and load them up. Man, this is looking so good. Honey, we ought to do this for a living. Let's open a restaurant and serve crappie melts. I'm getting my fingers incorporated in here, but that's the only way to get it to pile up on this bread the way I want it. Then I'm going to do one other thing at the end of this process that I've been kind of thinking about. Because I was thinking maybe I should only use 3 cups so I don't have extra. Maybe I could even do a half a batch and only do a couple. And I got thinking about something else. I'll show you that in a minute. All right, almost done here. And again, you can add or subtract the mayonnaise to make it more or less to your taste. You can use red onions instead of white onions. You can do all of the above there. I think we're looking pretty good. I can almost do this with my bare hands, but I thought I'd use a little bit of a spoon to make it look like I'm doing something right. Then we're going to mash some maters on here. Now here's where Sheila and I part ways. I love thin little tomatoes in my hamburgers, on my recipes, and she likes those big, thick, honking ones about a half-inch thick, and I can't battle with them inside my hamburger or on this recipe here. So you can use thin sliced, and just for fun, the one on the bottom here, there it is, cut a little thicker on 1/2 just to bother Sheila. Then we're almost done. Got some Swiss cheese here. We can put about 3 slices. This is baby Swiss. And make sure if you get Swiss cheese, it's got those little pieces of paper in between. I wonder if I'm going to run out here, that you don't broil your paper. Now this is going in the broiler. Let's see if I can get another couple of them out of here. It's going to go in the broiler until this cheese melts and it gets nice and golden brown on top, or just starts to brown is enough. And then it's ready to serve. Looks like these guys are only going to get 2 slices. I had to eat that because that's so delicious. Here's what else I was going to do. Let me move this to the side. As I was going to put the rest of this in this little dish that I had over here, because I knew I would probably have a little bit extra left over, and I kind of want to pack that in that little dish. Then I'm going to load the Parmesan cheese to it. And I'm going to bake that in the oven. Now you can use fresh Parmesan cheese that's grated and all that kind of stuff. But I want to put this in there and cook this until this is brown on top. And just eat that as a little treat. So let's get this in the oven and see what these little crappie melts turn out to be like. Should be fantastic. See you in a minute. Is this something to be proud of or what? Nice little golden brown here, golden brown on the cheese. And I took it out just a hair earlier than I really wanted to because it was starting to get almost like burnt toast on the end here, but I don't care. Because underneath this beautiful cheese and tomatoes is all that crappie. Isn't that beautiful? Crappie melts. Fantastic. And where's my little dish? It wouldn't fit in the oven at the same time as this, so I popped it in there separate. And I'm going to do an edit right now. Even though I'm cooking it later, I'm going to insert it right now so you can see how it turned out. Here is that little dish that wouldn't fit in the broiler at the same time as those other sandwiches. I'm popping this in and editing. Oh, look at that. Wow. Down under there is that crappie goodness. It's got a nice little cheese crust on top. It's just kind of a little experiment. I thought I'd try it. But I'll bet you that's wonderful. Let me give it a taste. If I don't say anything, we're going to go back to the closing. We're going back to the closing. Here is one other update before we go to the closing of the show. We ate about half of this one right here and it was really delicious, but I would actually add some more salt to it and about a teaspoon of sugar that I would mix in with the crappie mix and the mayonnaise and stuff to give it kind of like a almost like a tuna salad type flavor. I think it would be better with a touch of sugar and a little more salt. That's just an update, and I'll also put that in the description at the bottom of the video. Here's the closing of our show. And there was my little dish of wonder. Isn't that delicious? My little crappie, what would you call that, Sheila? A little crappie casserole or something in a dish? I don't know. But looky here, it turned out fantastic. Couldn't be happier. There you have it. Crappie melt open face sandwiches. Absolutely fantastic. Don't worry about it if you only catch a half a dozen bluegills or a couple crappie. Throw some tilapia in there, or maybe you got some northern pike or walleye. Make it. It's absolutely terrific. We hope you enjoyed our recipe. Did you like that, Sheila?
I love it.
She's waiting for us to turn the camera off so we can sit down and try some of this. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Let me lay this down for a second. There's our little button either up here or over there with little shotgun red. If you just hold your mouse over the top of it, it'll allow you to subscribe to our channel. And then we're going to include another recipe over here somewhere right at the last 20 seconds of it so that you can check something else out that's on our channel. We hope you enjoy our recipes here. And is it the best crappie melt sandwich you ever ate in your life? Boy, if it ain't, it ought to be. This is Steve Hall and Pretty Miss Sheila in Nashville, Tennessee saying we'll see you next time. Can't wait to try this.